Hello to all of you amazing web slingers. Welcome to Livin on the Edge, the podcast all about our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. We are your hosts. I'm Alec. You can follow me at the Alec Thorne on Twitter.
And I'm Brian. You can follow me at Redo Reviews on Twitter.
And if you want to follow the podcast on Twitter, you can follow us at LOTE_podcast. If you want to follow On Comics Ground on Twitter, you can follow at On Comics Ground. And if you want to go to our website, we've got daily reviews, news, editorials, and so on. So, Brian, how are you doing tonight?
Well, Star Wars trailer released like 10 minutes ago, so I'm pretty fucking happy.
Yeah, well, God, okay, all of you out, Star Wars is not dead. It literally just beat Endgame for, most tickets sold within the hour.
Yeah.
People know that this is the last Skywalker movie, and they're not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to see it because people said The Last Jedi was the devil on the internet. No, they're
people are lining up at the theater as we speak, and that thing ain't coming out till December.
Even some people who don't like The Last Jedi are like, no, I'm going to see this. This is the end of the Skywalker story. And, you can say all you want, oh, I don't count this as the Skywalker story. Well, that's your headcanon, okay, but this is
got
canon.
The old EU right there. The books are still intact.
Yeah, Disney didn't burn them. Disney didn't...
No, they just slapped a big sticker on them that said Legends.
By the way, if they just adapted the EU books, it would have been so boring, because we would have known
really
what happened.
Yeah, no, I am of the opinion that they totally made the right call of ditching the old EU, because all it was going to do was limit what they could do in the future.
And they borrowed things from the EU and retooled them. That shows they respect them.
Yeah, no, they're not just burning them all. They're bringing in old shit to tell new stories. Fucking Thrawn in season 3 of Rebels is the best he's been in years.
The whole concept of Jason Solo was used for Kylo Ren. It's not copying, it's honoring. It's
it's not note for note. And okay, we're supposed to be a Spider-Man podcast, and we're delving too much into Star Wars.
Well, we got an excuse. The trailer dropped, and I got my tickets. Thankfully, my theater is not a chain theater. The theater I go to for IMAX showings, and I got 3 tickets for my family members. Shouldn't have done that because I don't have money for shit, but I had to. So.
We're college student nerds. This is what we do with money.
We say, why don't we have any money, while we're buying the Infinity Saga box set for $550 or whatever.
I got a cooler full of Legos that are telling me, why did you buy us if you're not going to use us?
Oh, God. Yeah. No, I've had a pretty good day. Y'all heard on the last episode or the one before that or whatever, I can't remember. I got a car, and then I got in a major car accident that totaled my car. Just today, I got a new car. They actually drove it up 2 hours from my home to deliver it to me for free. And I'm thinking they're doing that because they're like, okay, we don't want this guy to sue us. We're going to just, give him a good deal on the car and drive the car up for him. Which,
if this one was able to last 2 hours on the road, I think you'll be okay now.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we got some stuff to talk about. So there have been some recent comics. One of them was issue number 2 of the J.J. Abrams, Henry Abrams Spider-Man comic. So Brian, why don't you tell me what you thought of it? Because I know you probably have some interesting opinions on it.
I definitely thought it was a major step up from the first issue because it felt like stuff actually happened this time. Because the first issue, it was mostly just set up of like, hey, so Peter's retired after MJ, quote unquote,
You're cutting out.
Sorry, my headset's been acting up lately. I think I need to get a new one.
Oh God, I'm sorry. Can you repeat all that? Like, can you repeat all the stuff you were just saying?
I was just finishing up of like it's just the first issue was basically just set up, and then the second issue is okay. Here's what's actually going to start happening.
Yeah, I definitely understand people who are off put by the first issue because of the controversial fridging of MJ and
the literal fridging because she's frozen in a tube.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Now I'm just like, well, shit, I can't.
I will never stop making that joke until someone gets mad at me for it. Then I'll stop.
But no, like the first issue is like shock value and setup, kinda, and then this issue we get more insight as to who Ben is as a character and who Faye, his love interest, is as a character. Which, by the way, you like I like her, but as I said in the last podcast, you can tell this was written by a millennial because of the type of.
Oh yeah, no, she is 100% the goth girlfriend.
Yeah, but I mean that's not a bad thing. It's just like, of course,
it's not bad. It's just kind of
it's obvious, but like
she showed up to his house in like a leather cat outfit, so
makes me think. My theory is that she's Felicia's daughter.
I guarantee she's related to Felicia in some way. Either that or they just want to create the parallels for the hell of it.
Well, even so, I think that's fine. Like,
oh yeah, no, I'm not complaining.
This might be written by somebody who's like, okay, I really want Spider-Man and Black Cat together, so I'm gonna have their kids get together. But no, I sound like I'm ragging on Henry Abrams. I'm not trying to, because I actually think that. Like, this is a first-time writer, and he's been given Spider-Man, and he goes in this insane balls-in-the-wall direction. Like, that's bold. Like, that, I think, regardless of all the nepotism and whatnot, like, that should be respected in some capacity. I at least respect that in some capacity, and I actually think, this issue has, kicked up a notch in terms of writing. Because,
I do agree that I thought this issue was much better than the first.
And, it makes me excited to see what happens next, because what happens is that, Ben just wears a Spider-Man costume to, impress Faye or whatever, not telling her that he's related to Spider-Man. And then he inadvertently reveals it to her, and then, he tries to save people and fights off some of the little alien goon things from Cadaverous.
Yeah, the robo-xenomorphs.
Yeah. And then Peter comes home to confront him about it, and that's where they end. And, it makes me excited to see what happens next, because they could literally do anything.
Yeah, I am interested to see what the next issue brings. I'm still curious what exactly Ben, brings to the table that Peter's other kids haven't already.
Being a male. That's it.
That seems pretty much it. And you can't even say he's named after his Uncle Ben and not his aunt, because House of M already did that.
Yeah, it's okay. I think, the thing is, I do like what we're seeing with Ben as a character, but it's just been done before.
That is my main issue with him. It's he's not bad. It's just he's not unique.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe as time goes on, we'll see. Because there's still 4 issues left. There's a lot of shit they could do. So I mean, it's still too early to judge completely. And who knows? Even after this, we'll probably see him again. Unless
I guarantee you, in the next Spider-Verse event, when the next movie comes out, we'll definitely see Ben again.
Yeah, even if Marvel tries to act ashamed of this, which I don't know why they would. I don't think they would, but the first issue got so much backlash, so I feel like they try to be oh, this never happened, but
yeah, I think it'll all depend on how it ends.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I feel like people who didn't like the first issue should at least read this issue and see what you think. And if you still don't like it, then you're probably not going to like it from here on out. But
yeah, I usually try to give an issue to a series 2 or 3 issues to really get my attention. And if it doesn't by the third, then it's really just not worth it.
That's the rule with TV shows that I've heard around and that I kind of have. It's like,
yeah, I do that sometimes too.
If it doesn't hook me by 3 episodes, if the ball doesn't get rolling within 3 episodes, then I'm outie. But
yeah,
no, I think all in all, I think this issue has been like a step up from the previous one, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes next. But jumping off of that, we got Absolute Carnage 4 out this week, and Jesus Christ, like,
my god!
Marvel asked Donny Cates, "How cool do you want to make this?" And Donny Cates is just yes.
Yeah, exactly what happened. Oh,
Carnage and Venom bond into to be
Carnage first, like Carnage while he's fighting Immortal Hulk with the Venom symbiote, like he connects with his mind. And when he brought up the Green Door, which is a thing in the Immortal Hulk books, I almost had a fucking heart attack because if you open that, you open up hell. Like actual hell will be unleashed.
Like, and like that ending too, where Eddie just realizes, oh shit, that container is full of all the codices.
Yeah, and unsurprisingly, Maker was full of shit. He wasn't destroying the codices, he was collecting them.
Of course he would. Like, he lied about the machine not causing pain, and then he's just like, okay, well, I'll destroy them. We still haven't seen what happens to him yet, because we haven't seen Venom number 19 yet, but because Venom number 19 is supposed to show, like, I don't like it when events just release stuff out of order. And
yeah, it's really not. Okay, you bring that up, and it reminds me of the Miles tie-in, which the tie-in itself was really good, and it ends. Spoilers, but the Miles tie-in to this ends with him like getting control of his symbiote, and he gets like a cool new design. But then in this issue, he's just back to mindless monster, and it's like, did that even happen then?
Or did they just show that, oh, he doesn't have control over it anymore? I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just like too many tie-ins can like drag a book down. Yeah, I don't think it's dragging this down because like the main storyline is strong enough. But like,
yeah, I don't think you really need to read any of the tie-ins to understand what exactly is going on.
I'd say the two you would read probably are the Venom ones, like the Venom solo title ones.
Yeah, that's true.
And the Spider-Man, the 2 Spider-Man ones.
Yeah,
can we talk about
those? No, we have not yet.
Like, okay, briefly, the 2 issues are Spider-Man fighting Norman controlled by Carnage, and like he's flashing back to his time in college with MJ, Harry, and Gwen and Flash, and like Kindred is fucking talking to Norman, and like at the end of it, Norman like has this familiarity with it has to be Gwen Stacy. If it's Harry Osborn, I will pull my hair out.
You know, I will put money on it that it is Gwen at this point because it just has to be.
Like even if we know like beforehand that it's Gwen, like it would still be so cool to like see that reveal happen. Where it's like holy shit, Peter's first love is his big villain now. Like that's genius.
Like, it would be a really cool thing to do, and God, just as a big Green Goblin fan myself, I love that even trapped in his own mind, thinking he's someone else, Norman Osborn still got the last laugh at the end of the issue.
Oh, absolutely. But it's like, who else? Like, there's no way it could be Harry because, like,
no,
Harry alive.
It'd be way too obvious too.
It'd be way too obvious
because
Harry's fucking alive.
Yeah, Norman ends the issue saying, "I'm so proud of you," which I think is meant to make you think, "Oh, it's a father talking to his son."
Yeah,
no,
it's a red herring.
Yeah, no, this is him saying he's so proud of his greatest achievement of killing the love of Spider-Man's life.
Like, he turned the love of Spider-Man's life into his greatest enemy, and like that's an ultimate victory. Like that.
Yeah. He
need,
cannot win any more than he has right now.
I need them to finally just get the ball rolling on Kindred, because I'm tired of waiting. It's been like over a year. But I know it's good storytelling. I'm just I need it. But
yeah, I think first we gotta get through the upcoming 2099 stuff. We can get back to that, which I'm still interested in. I kind of wish I knew what it was about, but I'm interested.
Oh yeah, I don't know what it'll be about, but we'll see. It could be anything, but yeah.
The past has been changed and the future's dying again.
Again, for the fifth. Alchemax is up to their shit again. Whoop-de-doo.
Miguel, stop sticking your dick in the timeline. It makes things worse. Don't be like Barry.
Oh my god. Oh, fuck. But, no. So yeah, Absolute Carnage 4, really strong. We can't wait to see how it ends next month. So, those are the comics. There's one bit of news that's interesting. It's not entirely Spidey related, but it could be. So there's rumors from several sources as of late. It's not from sources I will not name because I don't want anybody to call us out or whatever, but it's multiple reliable sources saying that Marvel Studios is looking into bringing back Charlie Cox and Kristen Ritter as Matt Murdock and Jessica Jones to the MCU.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Which,
I am all for.
Yeah. Okay. My thing is, I really want John Bernthal back because I don't think there will be ever
agreed. You're never gonna get a better Punisher.
I know Disney will be like, oh, Punisher, no, but just. At least think about it. It doesn't have to be right now, but think about it in the future. Because think if you could cast anybody better than him as Punisher, you probably can't.
No, I will die on the hill that this was one of the best castings any superhero media has done in years.
Just like how I think Charlie Cox and Kristen Ritter can't be recast. To be honest, I think Luke Cage and Iron Fist can be.
Definitely. Especially Iron Fist, after how abysmal his series went. I would not be shocked if they recast everything.
I heard season 2 is actually good. I haven't watched it, but I don't blame
I watched it. I will tell you, as much as I don't like Iron Fist show, that was the biggest leap in quality from season 1 being dreadfully awful to season 2 actually being watchable.
And that's because they kicked out Scott Buck. Don't hire.
They got
Scott Buck.
Someone who knew what they were doing. Unfortunately, the actor clearly was not a big martial arts guy before he got cast, and it really showed in the fights.
Yeah, and I don't blame that on him. I more blame that on Netflix
that was not his fault. That was the people in charge of casting who weren't we need a guy who can fight to play this guy whose entire thing is he's really good at fighting.
Yeah. And I don't know. I would like to see him get another shot because I think when he was good, he was really good. Season 1 in Defenders, the stuff I've seen from season 1 anyway, and from him in Defenders, he was directed to be this pouty little brat. And then when he was in Luke Cage season 2, and in season 2 of his own show, from what I've heard, he's a totally different person, and he's actually like Danny Rand.
Yeah, they wrote him like Iron Fist.
Yeah, so I think he deserves a second chance, and even Mike Coulter too. If they could get them both back, I think it would be great. But
I wouldn't be against it, but I would not be shocked or upset if it's revealed they got recast.
Yeah, and but if they
no offense to either of their actors.
If they get Mike Coulter back, they need to have him and Mahershala Ali's Blade meet and be like,
"Oh man,
I know you."
Fun.
Do I know you? Nope. I look like somebody else. I don't know. But yeah, like that's the thing. Like people were saying, oh, because they're casting people who are in Netflix shows and other roles, that means the shows aren't canon. But literally, Gemma Chan is going to be in like 2 MCU movies in the span of less than 2 years as 2 completely different characters.
Yeah,
Like,
I think they can get away with that as long as the actor or actress played like a very minor character in one role, and then a more major character in another.
Yeah, I mean, like Cottonmouth got killed off halfway through season 1, so I mean, like, yeah,
he was like the best part of the show.
Yeah, but no. Okay, back on topic. Like Charlie Cox and Kristen Ritter, like I think are just irreplaceable as those characters. But what's interesting is that we also found out last week Kevin Feige is now going to be in charge of like everything creative with Marvel.
Oh yeah,
not in charge, but like he's going to be like the chief creative officer, where it's like people report to him.
Yeah, and it's not just the movies and TV; it's Marvel in general. So
it's the comics, which a lot of people are saying, like, "Oh my god, this means the." First of all, they've already been replicating.
Yeah, it can't do it any more than they already are.
Like,
don't worry.
Like, I think Kevin Feige is smart enough to know that, like, it would be really fucking dumb to just reboot the entire Marvel Comics line to be
he's not going to do that. Like
what he could do, which I think he will do, is like push comics for more advertising, advertise them in theaters, like have them be put back on store shelves instead of just regular
seriously,
comic shops.
like I'm all for supporting your local comic shop. Like, please go do that. But like, it would be so much more convenient if I could just walk into like a Walmart or a Target and the latest issue of whatever books I'm following just happens to be on a shelf somewhere.
Yeah, like it could literally be more beneficial, and like
there is no downside to it.
Like, I feel like a lot of people forget that Feige himself is a fan of Marvel. Like, he is a major, like, okay, I some people might have seen this on my Twitter. I talked about how Feige got his start by literally being a huge fan of Marvel, because he was it's Richard Donner's wife. I don't like saying that. I forgot her first name, but like I don't like saying so and so's wife or whatever.
Yeah,
but she was a producer.
I'll look it up so we can say her name.
Okay, good. She was a producer on X-Men, and he was her assistant. And they just found out, like, through production, Feige was like a walking Marvel encyclopedia. So then they bumped him up to be like an associate producer. And then eventually he was a producer. Like, Avi Arad took him under his wing. And then Kevin Feige's like, hey, I'm going to do what you did, but, 15 times better. But, like, literally, Feige got his start because, like, Hugh Jackman himself said, like, it's out there in articles how Feige's office was, like, filled with a bunch of, like, figurines and toys and comics. And, like, he...
Didn't Feige like sneak comic books onto the set of X-Men because Bryan Singer said no, don't read the comics?
Yeah, because Bryan Singer is
he's a fucking idiot.
Well, more than a fucking idiot, but we don't have time to unpack all of it.
John Mulaney. Anyway, let's just end this with Richard Donner's wife. His name is Lauren.
You cut out for a sec. What was it?
Richard Donner's wife is named Lauren.
Okay, Lauren Donner. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kevin Feige was Lauren Donner's assistant, and he got bumped up to associate producer. But yeah, he snuck comics onto the set. And I was talking about this, and this one guy like comes in and is like, "Oh no, he's not a real fan. He's just a corporate shill."
Yeah, I saw that. I blocked that guy like quick.
I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to call anybody out. That's
no, we're not. Like, we are not in that business.
But like he was saying, Feige, like was never a fan. He just became a fan when he was doing X-Men. I'm like, what I said was something like, I don't know, like that's literally like if you got hired to be like a music producer's assistant, and then like you just somehow learned everything about the band and their music in one fucking night. Like, no, that's not how that works. I don't. People do not work like that. But anyway, like, no, Feige. So basically, Feige took over control of Marvel Studios, Marvel TV, and Marvel Comics. So back on topic. Why this?
I'm just hoping that this means we get good Marvel cartoons again.
Oh God, I hope so. I really
fuck the new Spider-Man. It's terrible.
We'll talk about that one day.
I've made like threads on Twitter about how awesome some of these designs are. Oh my God.
We'll get to that at some point. But like basically, what I'm thinking is like a lot of people were saying they wanted Daredevil for Spider 3. We said it on the last episode. We
were gushing about that last time.
So like there was all that. And then, like, the whole stipulation was, oh, well, they can't be used because they're TV characters and those expire in 2020. So then after 2020, Marvel can use them. So now that Feige's, like, taken over Jeff Loeb's job, I'm thinking, like, is he able to use Daredevil now? Did he push for this to happen so we could get Daredevil in Spider-Man 3? Like, that, like, it makes some sort of sense, doesn't it? Like...
Yeah, I see it. I just want good stuff. I want good stuff, and I want actual freaking advertising for this stuff. Because I've seen fans do more advertising for Marvel and DC than Marvel and DC have done for their own books.
Oh, absolutely!
Like I could scream for hours about how awful their marketing strategy is, but we don't got that time.
Kevin Feige knows how to market, so like I think we're in good hands in that department. But
every MCU movie this year made over $1 billion, so clearly they're doing something right.
That's good fucking marketing. But like, yeah, no, like Feige, like it just makes sense. I don't know why. It just makes sense that he's like, oh. It would make sense to have Daredevil in this story. Can I be in charge of the TV department so I can get the TV characters into the movies so we can get Daredevil? But, like, the last thing I want to say on this is, like, my only stipulation for this is that if they do get these actors back, they have to bring their supporting cast back. Because it will be very off-putting to see Charlie Cox with 2 new actors playing Foggy and Karen. Like that.
Also, I will say this now, I will not accept anyone else as Kingpin besides Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like he is fucking perfect.
I feel like they'll get him at least, but like they need to get Ellen Henson back. They need to get Deborah Ann Wall back. They need to get like... Okay, I didn't even watch Jessica Jones season 3, so I don't know what the fuck happened to Trish or Malcolm, but like... point is,
it wasn't good. That's all I remember.
I'm just like, it's tragic because Jessica Jones season 1 was so it was like a masterclass of TV.
Season 1 of Jessica Jones was not better than Daredevil season 1 for me.
Like, I don't know what happened.
Just put David Tennant in anything and I'll watch it.
He literally has a healing factor in the comics. Don't get that.
Instead, in season 2, we get a single episode of him as like a ghost, which was the only good episode of that season. And then he spoke at the final fucking scene of season 3, and that was the end of the entire show.
And it's that's why I want them to. I know, like, Daredevil ended on a good note, but I want Ritter to be able to do more because, like. Yeah, it wasn't the best note to end on. So
I do want like I imagine they'd probably do like a soft reboot to bring them in, but at the end of the day, I just want the cast back at the very least.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Rumors that don't have any validation whatsoever, but we thought it would be interesting to bring up, considering how everybody wants Daredevil and Spidey 3. But okay. Now we got to get to our main topic.
Yeah, we put this off way too long.
Yeah. So we have talked about Hunted throughout the year since it started in March-ish. Like I've kept up with like, okay, happened in the new issue or whatever. But we wanted to take the time tonight to talk about the storyline in full. We haven't really done that yet for any of the comics. We haven't talked about any of the storylines yet.
Yeah,
me in part because I don't have money and I don't have access to all these older storylines that I die to talk about, but I don't want to unless I'm actually reading it and able to refresh my memory on that.
Yeah, I desperately want to do an episode talking about the Master Planner arc someday in the future.
That would be a great episode to do.
Yeah, because I will say this now, that is my favorite Spider-Man story arc of all time.
Oh, wow. But yeah, like since Hunted was more recent and I actually like covered it, reviewing it, I thought it would be good to talk about this. So let's dive right in. So what did you think when Hunted was announced at like the end of last year or whatever?
I believe that was that storyline started about right when I was getting into Nick Spencer's run, so I felt like, hey, maybe this will be a good jumping on point, and then I decided to buy the rest of the series before the story actually started.
Good. Yeah.
And it was very good, and I'm sad that we forgot to bring up the Jameson story arc that happened right before this in one of the previous episodes.
That was beautiful. That was an amazing story.
It's the one with the panel of Kingpin saying, no, they will make do with the salad bar.
When Kingpin goes vegan, the whole city goes vegan.
Yes.
That's perfect writing. That's like the best way. Oh, God. I love that. But
yeah. All right. But yeah, to go back to... when I first heard about it, I figured going into it, it was going to be a Kraven's Last Hunt sequel, and that's what I got. So I was happy.
Yeah, like I was kind of like on the fence about it. I saw it and I'm just like, this kind of seems like just off-putting what happened with it just kind of seemed like it was a fork in the road for the Kindred storyline, because I'm impatient, so I mean, like I survived in the end, but I was just like, I don't know how this ties into everything. But then I remembered back in like the first couple of issues we saw Kraven, so this was like planned.
Oh yeah, this has been set up since like issue 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah, and like I was just like, okay, this is probably going to be. It didn't occur to me until it started that this was going to be Kraven's Last Hunt 2.0. And then once it did, I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this. But then I read it as it was coming out. And Jesus Christ, it was actually really fucking good. Like
it really was. I was genuinely surprised. It's like I wasn't expecting it to be bad, but it was way better than I thought.
Yeah, it's one, like, they didn't just weren't like, oh, we're Kraven's Last Hunt 2, but we're not going to acknowledge that. We're going to pretend like we're our own thing. They embraced it. Like, they made it a plot. They literally referenced the fact that this is a sequel. Like, I think it was Arcade who referenced that this is like, in a sequel, you got to up the stakes before.
Yeah, and then the vermin clones.
Yeah. Where are they? What are they up to right now during absolute carnage?
They're in the sewers eating people, I guess. They look up on the surface and see giant forearm monsters running around, and they're like, yeah, let's just stay out of that.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll run into the dinosaur people that were in Mike Costa's Venom.
Oh, God.
What the hell was the deal with those?
What was the deal with Mike Costa's Venom run in general?
I mean, that's another great question, but still.
That's another thing we could talk about another time. But, like, one of the things that, like, I just didn't like about how that ended with Venom First Host was, like, how, they had, like, Liz Allen and Dr. What was his name? I forgot his name. But the doctor guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
They, like, had them as Eddie's, like, team, like, his support. Like, they were, like, the Caitlin Snow and the Cisco Ramon to his Barry Allen.
Yeah, like, they were setting them up as his new supporting cast, and then like, almost immediately ditched them.
Not even, like, at the end of, like, First Host, they're like, oh, yeah, they don't anymore. And it's like, Well, that just meant
Yeah, because of like
meant
because of like the anti-venom stuff that happened in the Spider-Man book. Eddie is no longer killing the Venom symbiote, so they have no need of him.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I feel like Donny Cates is gonna bring them back.
I feel like after whatever Venom Island turns out to be, we'll get back to them eventually.
Because I mean, he brought Sleeper's back, which I'm grateful for because Sleeper's good. But
Sleeper was the best part of that entire run.
Oh yeah, but back on topic on Hunted. I was like, as I was reading, I'm like, this is actually like a really compelling story, and the HU issue too, like the side story issues, especially the one with the Gibbon. Like,
yeah, I didn't get around to reading any of those, but I heard good things.
The Gibbon one was like, it made me cry. It was like so fucking sad because it was this guy who was like, felt like he was cast out as a freak of nature, and like even Peter laughed at him when he wanted to be his like partner. Whatever. And like he was like betrayed by like girlfriends and stuff and friends who he thought he had, and then Vulture just like let him astray to have him get shot by something. And like he always talked about how people were laughing at him, and as he was dying in Spider-Man's arms, he's like, at least nobody's laughing now. And it's just like, God, it was depressing. Like,
that is.
Sorry. The X-Men 2 is on my TV for some reason. I don't know why. But,
well, at least it's one of the decent ones.
Yeah, but still directed by a pedophile. So.
Let's.
Then again, I mean, I say I love Days of Future Past, even though Singer directed it, but like a lot of the heavy work was done by Matthew Vaughn on the story. So I mean, who knows?
Oh yeah, no. That was supposed to be like the third movie, but it got pushed to being the second.
It should have been. It should have been the end. It should have been the end of the X-Men movies. But Fox was like, no, we got to push this forward. And
it really should have.
Okay, back on topic.
Yeah, so we're a Spider-Man podcast, and we're talking about everything except Spider-Man.
Star Wars, then X-Men, then who the fuck knows? But anyway, like that issue with the Gibbon was like just, it was heart-wrenching, and like the whole thing is like a race of time for Peter to like find out how the fuck to get out of here and how to convince all the villains to not engage all of them. And at first, like, I was off put because Kraven was being like accepting of all these, rich white people, trophy hunters, and I was like, Kraven wouldn't do that.
When I was first reading it, I was like, okay, clearly he has some kind of plan because this goes against everything Kraven stands for.
Yeah, like he's having them do virtual reality hunting.
Yeah, and like he's not even forcing them to hunt them like by themselves. He's literally giving them hunter-killer robots to go do it for them.
But then we see like Black Ant comes in because Black Ant was betrayed by Taskmaster, and
I love those two, by the way.
We'll get to them at like what happens to them at the end, but like we see like Black Ant tell the truth, and like we see a bunch of villains like destroy one of the robots, and we see the person controlling the robot dying, and it's like, oh, he's having them all kill each other because he hates both the villains and the hunters, and it's like,
he hates the villains for essentially like desecrating the nature of the animals they resemble, and he hates the hunters for being pieces of shit people.
Yeah, and like, okay, so also some backstory. Like, the whole thing starts off with Kraven being like, oh yeah, I cast myself out, and I asked for this wish to have a bunch of sons. So there were a bunch of clones of me as my son. Then
I went full Metal Gear Solid on this bitch.
Oh, God. Why don't we just call the new... Spoiler, why don't we just call the new Kraven, like, Liquid Kraven?
Yes. He doesn't have a name, so until further notice, he is Liquid Kraven.
But yeah, like, so Liquid Kraven, we're going to call him Liquid Kraven. Liquid Kraven kills all of the other siblings, and Kraven's like, I am so proud of you, my... However,
yeah, like, the best part is, at first, he looks like horrified when he just drops a bunch of their bones on the ground. but then he looks up and he just gives him a hug. Like, I am so proud of you.
Like, that was funny, but also, like, really dark.
Oh, yeah. Like, I guarantee, like, deep down he did actually feel bad. But then he's like, you know what? This will probably be easier.
Because, like, he can tell he can't contain his son's appetites.
So, no, his son is, like, double the hunter he was when he was his age.
Yeah, and, like, like, the whole story arc, his son's, like, Liquid Kraven is telling Kraven, hey, why the fuck aren't you going to kill Spider-Man? And Kraven's like, no, it's not time yet, my son, or whatever. And then Liquid Kraven's like, you're a coward, or whatever. Ooh,
yeah, it's like, you are not my father anymore. Yeah. When you were brought back to life, you lost whatever you had of yourself.
Oh, yeah, like, that was... Ugh. But, like, with Peter, let's get back to Peter. Like, what happens... First, he's sick. He's trying to find Black Cat, who got herself caught.
And Dr. Connor's kid.
And Billy Connors, yeah. And, like, Felicia was having, like, bad flashback relationship with Peter. And how, like, she thought Peter was proposing to her. And, like, okay, I'll get to Felicia in a second, because I have a lot to say about her in this. But, like, Peter is, sick. He goes to find her. Then Liquid Kraven beats the shit out of him. Then he wakes up in the black suit. And that's when I'm like, oh.
Yeah, as soon as the black suit is on, it's like, we are going full Last Hunt in this.
Yeah, Kraven's trying to make Last Hunt happen again.
Yeah, I think this is the second time he's tried that, like, since he came back to life.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't. Like, last I remember was that Spider-Man ripped his wife's face off.
Yeah, that was weird.
He did the Mark of Cain, but that was during Back in Black, I think. So, like,
that's right. Okay, well, that's fine then. That was when Spider-Man was being an asshole.
when he was being Batman.
Yeah.
But no, like, as soon as Peter's in the black suit, shit, this is gonna be a sequel to Kraven's Last Hunt, and, like, the whole time Peter is, like, trying to save everybody and realizing he can't. And then Kraven and Arcade are just upping the stakes against him. And, like...
all the while, he's having, like, visions of Mary Jane dying.
Yeah, because of Kindred. Well, he doesn't know yet, but we see Kindred watching over MJ. And this was, like, one of the times where, like, wait, Kindred could be, like, Gwen Stacy. Because, like, they look over MJ like they're a friend. Whatever. And, like,
it is very clear Kindred is very familiar with MJ.
Yeah. So, like, oh, God, like, so there's that, and then we get over to Felicia and her whole arc with protecting Billy Connors. And at first she was like, I don't want to protect this kid, I don't like kids. But, like, as the story goes on, she becomes, like, more and more selfless. She takes, like, gunshots for him. And, like...
oh, yeah, no, she goes full-on hero in this arc.
Yeah, and, like, I talked about this before in, like, some of the podcast episodes, but, like, Felicia hasn't had a lot of development to show her becoming, like, a genuinely really good person. Like, some people are like, oh, that would just be making her Catwoman. I'm like, I don't care. I like seeing gray characters becoming gooder.
I like morally gray being more good people than bad.
Yeah. So, like, and, like, after the whole Queen Pin shit that happened over the past couple of years.
Yeah, after that bullshit, she needs this.
Yeah, and like I said before, it's so we never really get to see her in the situation where, hey, she has to protect her for, somebody like a child or whatever. This is the first time we see her being, like, super selfless for another person other than Peter or whatever. And, like...
yes, the thing is, she's not doing it for Peter, she is doing it for the kid.
Yeah, she's doing it because she's like, I can't let this kid die, not because of an obligation or anything, because, like, this kid should not have to die, I don't want to die. And, like, that, after like, Spider-Man PS4 and her whole arc in, like, The City That Never Sleeps, I needed this.
I lied about the kid, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm the richest thief there ever was, and I just got back in the game because I needed more money. Woohoo!
Always need more money.
Like, that's why, like, all that, I'm just like, that's such a stupid reason for her to come back. And because of how good the storytelling was in the game, in, like, the main game, I'm like...
There's definitely something going on.
It's like, she has to be lying that there's no kid. Like, if she isn't, then I'm like, this whole thing was just messed up.
It was stupid then.
I can't really say it's inaccurate, but it's like, it doesn't feel right that she would lie about something as monumental as, like, her having a kid and Peter being the father, especially when Peter's like being super like supportive and emotional about it. Like he's literally willing to be like, because I'm like 23, but I will help you. Like, that's what he was implying the whole time they were talking. And
definitely, like, if we had a kid, I want to help with them.
Yeah, and like MJ was even like accepting of it and being like, yeah, you know, we're adults. We were both separated.
Yeah, like at first she was annoyed, but then she got over it really quick.
Which was good because, like, in the main game, she got annoyed. It makes sense for her. Like, she wasn't in the wrong, but it's like, it was just kind of like.
She wasn't in the wrong, but the game made it sound like Peter was in the wrong when he was totally in the right too.
Yeah, because like, but
you were literally into a heavily guarded military.
Yeah, but it was a breath of fresh air to see. Shocked me, but like, you know, we're adults, and if you have a kid, I'm gonna help you, and I'm not gonna break up with things that's dumb. And like,
I'm not Raimi MJ. I'm actual MJ.
Yeah. God, true words have never been spoken. But but after that whole thing, I needed Felicia like this, being like an actual selfless, a character who, when you come down to it, is actually selfless and cares about people. And like,
yeah, deep down, she is a good person.
Yeah. So like, her whole arc with that was just really good to see. Also, Dr. Connors, like him.
Oh man,
him making
this
Peter
is the best he's been in a while.
Oh God, yeah. Like, I've loved what Spencer has done. Like, it's like after Shed, like from a few years back, it's like,
yeah,
we've gotten to a much happier place, and I'm like, Connors literally controlled the lizard by his own fucking will to be like, no, I'm not going to become a monster again. I'm not going to kill my son.
I'm going to go save my son from these robots and evil hunters.
Yeah. But like, and
I'm going to do it as a badass lizard man.
Even after this, when we see him run off, we're going to be like, oh, he's going to Well, next issue, or like next two issues later, immediately we see him hold up. We see him hold up, literally willing to kill himself.
Yeah, he built like a bunker that just constantly creates drones and other stuff to keep him contained.
Yeah, and Peter convinces him to like get out and be with his family again, and he gets a happy ending, as he should. Like.
Yeah, Connors had been through a lot of shit since Shed.
Yeah, like Shed was just traumatizing.
Yeah, Clone Conspiracy was shit, but one of the things I feel like it did right was giving Connors his family back.
But then they like tried to show it as like being this weird, creepy, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type family thing, and then Spencer's like, no, we're gonna let them be happy, because lizards doesn't mean they can't be happy. So,
no, we're lizard people. We're not monsters.
Yeah. Oh God, but yeah, no, like everything with Connors is great, especially the scene where he makes Peter kill him because he's like,
yeah, they are both captured by Kraven, and the only way they'll be let out is if Spider-Man rips out the chip that was put in Connors' neck to keep him under control.
The inhibitor chip. Gone.
Yeah.
They took that from. They had to have taken that from Spider-Man 2. Like,
I would not be shocked.
But it's fun. It's fun.
It's good.
It's funny. But no, like one amazing thing was like when Peter was talking about responsibility, and Connor's was like, "Do you have kids, Spider-Man?" And Spider-Man's like, "No." And then Connor's like, "Then you don't know the first thing about responsibility." Yeah. And that's more shit that makes me feel like this is hinting towards like one more day being addressed.
Please,
like,
I need it.
They like. There's only so much we can be fucked with. Like. I don't know. Like, okay, my hope is that Kevin Feige will allow one more day to be undone.
It could happen. If the two people who are willing to have the balls to do that are Kevin Feige and Nick Spencer.
Oh, absolutely.
Nick Spencer was the man who made Nazi Captain America. He has no fear.
Oh God. Well, let's not bring back that blemish on the radar.
Oh, let's be real. They're bringing that back at some point. He's like a separate character now, or something.
He's still alive, isn't he? Like,
he escaped at the end of Secret Empire, so he's out there somewhere.
Well, that's going to be fun. But anyway, no, like, yeah, everything with Connors was just amazing. And okay, down to this ending where Spidey and Kraven face off, and Kraven makes him believe that the Lizard was out of control and that he really killed Connors, and that Connors killed all these guards. Kraven fights him, and he's like, "No, Spider, killing is necessary. You must kill me.
Yeah. Embrace the Spider that you represent."
Yeah, and then Peter sees, no, wait, these are knife marks, not claw marks. Kraven killed these people, and Connors is in control. And then Peter beats Kraven down and makes him watch as Connors beats the shit out of his son.
Yeah.
And not Connor's son, out of Kraven's son.
Damn, Lizard's abusive. Who knew?
No.
Then again, he did eat him, so.
Well, you can't really get lower than eat him, so I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But,
that's what the Greek Titans did.
Yeah. Oh boy. But yeah, no. Like he makes Kraven watch Connors beat the shit out of Liquid Kraven, and then after that, Connors leaves, and then Kraven has this epiphany. He realizes that, like, no, Peter was right, and and he releases everybody. He tells Spidey to get out of there, and then we see, like, as Spidey's making his escape, we see Liquid Kraven beat the shit out of him, only to find out
after he strangles him to death. But then he looks up and sees Spidey swinging away, and then he looks down and realizes what he did.
Yeah, Kraven died like the way he wanted to.
Yeah, because like the whole reason that Kraven needs Spider-Man to kill him is after his family brought him back to life, they fucked up the ritual that did it and accidentally made him immortal. And Peter's the only one who can kill him, but Spider-Man's never gonna kill him, so he's never gonna die.
Yeah,
which was the whole reason he had this thing set up, was to, force Spider-Man to kill someone so he would prove he is willing to kill him.
Which, that's why I think maybe Kraven is there somewhere, like real Kraven.
I would prefer this be his final end for real this time.
Yeah, but now it's kind of meaningless because now Liquid Kraven is gonna be Kraven.
Yeah, Liquid Kraven became Big Kraven at the end of this.
Yeah, a Kraven with a clean slate with no character development, just like, like it just has like the same design. I kind of wish like it was just a new.
I kind of wish he kept the lion tiger tattoo thing he had on his chest.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like that was badass.
Anyway. It was, but it was just paint, and I'm like, don't get rid of that. Don't make him look like Kraven. Just let him be his own. Let him be his own new version of Kraven. Don't do this.
But no, now he is just the last son of Kraven. He is yet to get an actual name, except for Sergei.
Just Kraven. So we'll see what happens to him. But then, like in the epilogue issue, we see all the aftermath. Taskmaster and Black Ant have their happy ending.
The bromance of this entire book. I love it so much.
I ship it. I ship it.
Like, beforehand, I hated Eric O'Grady, Black Ant, because he was known as the irredeemable Ant-Man for a reason.
Yeah.
So then they brought him back as a robot, technically, but they made him a villain, and he works so much better now.
Oh yeah, and like he feels regret over his time as like a hero.
The robot version of him got more character development than the human ever did.
Oh god, like I don't. But like I hope we see more of those two knuckleheads because they're just the best. And
they are the best. I want those two to get together.
We need them in the MCU. We need like
after we're getting Taskmaster. I know that.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people don't like his. Like they change designs all the time. We'll see a different version of them later.
My only problem is I love the suit, but the mask is my only problem.
I just wish that the mask was like a little bit different and that he had the. That's all I wish.
Yeah, it just looks like a regular tactical mask, but somewhat stylized as a skull.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like it won't be the last week. And if it is, then that's all. But like,
yeah, I do really hope he becomes a recurring villain later on.
Oh, he probably will.
Because I feel like, for the most part, the MCU is finally starting to move away from the let's kill off the villain at the end of every movie thing.
Yeah. We say it's the last one killed off their villain. Well, killed off. Quotes.
I do not believe Mysterio is actually dead.
Oh, fuck no. He's not dead.
Like, that man cannot die. The last time he died, he came back as a demon.
Someone was saying on Twitter, like, what if, like, you know, the like thing that was that Obadiah Stane used against Tony and like not Spidey in Iron Man 1, the taser thing.
Oh, like the paralyzer thing?
Yeah, if it's used against Peter and Spidey 3. And like Mysterio uses it somehow. Like
Mysterio Kraven team up.
Oh god.
Wasn't that a movie Sony wanted to make?
Yeah, it was.
Oh no, what have we done? We just gave them the idea.
No. Oh god. But okay, let's not remind them anymore. But no, yeah, Mysterio is definitely not dead by any means. But no. Yeah,
and even if he is in the MCU, Mysterio, even the man, is basically just a character. He's not a person.
Yeah,
they could just have any one of his cultists take the place.
Like literally, even Quentin Beck is just a name. It's just a name they made up. So,
yeah, it very well may not have actually been his real name.
Oh yeah, he says it's not even his real name. He says like,
oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh,
he says the guy made up a story about a warrior named Quentin from an alternate universe.
That's right.
So his he is Quentin Beck, but his real name isn't Quentin Beck. But yeah.
All right, that's cool then. Yeah, in which case, even if that man is dead, Quentin Beck can totally live on.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah. So, fuck. Sorry, but yeah, Taskmaster and Black Ant ride off into the sunset into their condo home in the Caribbean.
Yeah. I hope those boys are having a great time on their honeymoon.
I hope so. But yeah, so there's that, and then Peter comes back to MJ and sees that she's fine. She just tripped and her hand fell through the window.
Yeah, that was what the vision was the whole time.
That's funny. But then they kiss, and then Peter, and then Kendra goes on this monologue about Peter, and even more so, you're just like, it's got to be Gwen Stacy.
It has to be at this point. I
don't know who else it could be. Literally, who could the character be? Just random Joe 3 from issue 75? What?
It was the man who killed Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
God, if it is that, I'm gonna be mad.
That would be... Remember when he searched for treasure in Peter's house? That was weird.
Wait, what?
Apparently... he was trying to rob the Parker house because underneath it was a bunch of bootlegger treasure, and he came back later on or whatever to
oh my god,
find it or I don't know. It was
the
weird.
Parkers were sitting on the fortune this whole time and they didn't know.
Peter could have had no money problem, but
son of a that sounded stupid at first, but that is the Parker luck incarnate right
It
there.
absolutely is.
They were having money problems their entire life,
honestly,
not knowing that they were living right on top of a fucking fortune.
Oh my god! But
that is brilliant. I'm okay with this.
God, I need to find that issue again. But anyway, yeah, no. So like, Kindred has to be Gwen. Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm just laughing at if Kindred is the man who killed Uncle Ben, then he's coming back for that money that Peter owes him.
One day, Peter, it'll just be you and me, so you can show me where that treasure is.
Get me that fucking checkbook. You owe me so much money.
You owe me $736, Peter Parker.
It was the 60s, so it probably would have been about that much.
Probably. Oh, fuck. But no, yeah, like, so after Peter and MJ have their 10, well, Kindred does a voyeurism thing, we get to the end, and we get to, like, the epilogue to the epilogue. Chameleon is there and has some plans. And that's
he much like the end of Kraven's Last Hunt that revealed that the two were half brothers. This now Chameleon is like has some kind of plan in store.
Yeah, that carried over to issue 29 when Peter and Teresa were chilling, and like she's like, "Hey, can I get your help?"
That's right.
And then Chameleon kills her love interest, and then she's pissed off. And then I don't know if we'll get a follow up to that. We might, but
I imagine it's all after the 2099 stuff.
Teresa's such a cool concept, and I'm glad they never actually retconned it. I'm glad.
Agreed. Like when I first heard about her, I was iffy because I'm already not a big fan of the Peter's parents being secret agents and stuff.
Yeah.
But after reading more about her, I learned that she's actually really cool, and I'm very glad that they have doubled down on it and said no, she is Peter's real sister.
Yeah, like I hate it when they make drastic like leaps and then just retcon it. City that never sleeps. But like, yeah, I hate that shit. So like to see like them stick to their guns and be like, no, she is a sister. This is canon now. Deal with it. I'm like, good for you. Good for you.
It's a problem that I have with DC right now because with Superman, he had a kid recently, John. He was like 6 or 7. And then after Bendis took over the book, he just aged him up to like a teenager. And it's like, no, you had a great dynamic with this little kid looking up to his dad. And him and Damian were like best friends. It was the best. And you turned him into Connor. You could turn him into Young Justice Connor.
That's the state of DC.
God damn it.
I'm just like... At least Marvel's being like, you know what? No, this is canon. We're not going to change this. But we'll see. Like, everything is subject to change in comics. So,
yeah.
I mean, like,
no, I'm sure in the next 10 years she'll be revealed as a Skrull. They always are.
Oh, God. But, yeah, so we got to wrap this up. But just one last question. Do you think this is a worthy successor to Kraven's Last
Hunt? I do think it is. Like, I wouldn't say it's quite as good, but to be fair, Kraven's Last Hunt is like one of the best Spider-Man story arcs of all time.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to top it anyway. And this storyline clearly didn't try to. It just wanted to be a continuation, and I'm happy. And as a finale to Sergei Kravinoff, I am totally happy with this.
I agree with everything.
I don't want them to bring him back again because it was already a mistake to do that the first time.
Absolutely. Like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But like, I think this is a good successor because it embraces the fact that it's a sequel. It doesn't try to justify its existence other than the fact that the characters want this to happen. So it's
like Kraven is literally forcing it to be a sequel.
Yeah. So, like, that was the best way to go about it. wanted to do it, but no, I think this is a good story, and I don't know if it'll become as iconic as Kraven's Last Hunt, but
it's not. I will tell
yeah.
you now. Like,
Yeah,
as much as I
it's-
enjoy it, it's not.
yeah. I don't know, but we'll see. Who knows? Anything in the future, but
I wouldn't. There as much as I enjoy it, there was not a scene anywhere near as iconic as Peter digging himself out of the grave.
absolutely. Like I said, I want that to be in Spidey if they have Kraven
Agreed.
in it.
Yeah, if you do have Kraven in your movie, you better do the bury alive scene.
And like people will get pissed off and say it's not adapting Kraven's Last Hunt. The writer of Kraven's Last Hunt said this and that. It's like it's not an adaptation of Kraven's Last Hunt. It's a reference to Kraven's Last Hunt.
Yeah, homaging is a thing, people. It's not the MCU as clearly shown. It's not a note for note adaptation of the comics.
But people don't care. They need them. They're appalled that they're not super close to the comics, or they're like it's too close to the comics. Do your own thing, or
whatever. This is discussion for another day.
Yeah. So I think that is that. So, thank you all for listening in on this episode. This has been episode 18. 2 more until the big 2-0.
Hey.
Yeah. So, this has been fun. Go see Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Go watch that trailer 10 million times until it breaks. Yeah. So, Brian, any last thoughts for the night?
Kindred better be Uncle Ben's killer coming for his money now. That is my new theory.
Fuck Gwen Stacy being Kindred. Kindred has to be Dennis Carradine or whatever the fuck his name is.
According to the 60s, he is the robber.
Oh no, then we find out that it's Sandman.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, we're bringing that canon now.
Oh god.
I couldn't escape it in the movies.
That'll be
now I won't escape it in the comic.
I've said it before, the moment between Flint, Marco, and Peter at the end of that movie, perfect, but it doesn't justify like changing the canon of the films just to like have a dumb twist.
Yeah, no, out of anything in Spider-Man 3, that was my least favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Was not only changing the fact that it wasn't Sandman who killed Uncle Ben, but the fact that it was a total accident.
Yeah. Because, like, it's like, well, clearly anything could have set him off, so it wouldn't really be Peter's fault. But, like, I don't know. But anyway, like, yeah. So, my last thoughts for the night. I finally have a working car, so that's great. I still don't have a parking pass for school, so still have to commute to campus, but it's all good. It's all good. We're all Gucci here. But anyway, so I got a car. I saw Zombieland 2. That was pretty good. If you like Zombieland 1, you're going to like this one. It's really
that's
fun.
Good, at least.
Yeah.
I was worried that it was just going to be like just full-on nostalgia pandering.
It kind of is. Like, they make references to 2009 a lot. And
I saw that in the trailer, and that joke made me kind of cringe.
I don't know. Like, I think it's better in context for the movie, but, like, they make
I'm sure it is.
They make a joke about stuff that's happened in the past 10 years, but, like, it's one of those jokes where it's like, hey, what if somebody did this? And then they're like, oh, that would never work. And then... But like, it's ironic because it did work. But I think it's funny. You got to like Zombieland 1 to be this. If you didn't like Zombieland 1, you're not going to like this. But
that's fair.
My favorite thing is how the poster says from the director of Venom. That's something to be proud about. But
director of Venom and the writer of Deadpool.
Yeah. I mean, the writer's of Deadpool, sure. But like the director of Venom, just say he's the director of the first Zombieland movie. Just say that. But anyway, that is all for tonight. Once again, I'm Alec. You can follow me at the Alec Thorne on Twitter.
And I'm Brian. You can follow me at Red L Reviews on Twitter.
And you can follow our podcast on Twitter. We are at OTE_podcast. You can follow On Comics Ground on Twitter. It is at On Comics Ground. And you can go to our website where we post daily reviews, news, editorials, all that jazz. So once again, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Living on the Edge. We'll see you all in the next one. Bye.
Bye.